We are live!
Which beats being dead, doesn't it?
This is very true. We're live. We are not in the ground, and we are sexy as hell. So, welcome to the Crafty
Is
Boys,
hell
where
sexy?
It can be. I mean, really, if you think about it.
Maybe. I guess.
Well,
Hey!
I mean, aside from all the torment and torture and fire and demons and being stabbed constantly, so
Brimstone,
there's that.
all that. But there is the river Styx. So that's...
Yeah, I mean that's a bit of a downer,
Mr. Robot.
if I were to say so. But what else can you say about hell that's positive? Nothing.
Hey, do you want to drink a beer?
Hey, that's a really good idea. I think we should drink a beer, especially after I completely screwed up my camera. Apparently, let me comb my hair. There we go. Or just mess it the hell up.
Well, it was funny. You took off your glasses and then everything went blurry.
I know, it's so strange. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at that hair. All right.
Yeah, rub it in.
Yes, let's drink a beer. Now, this beer you discovered and brought to the attention of us, so I'm going to hold it up and you talk about it.
In the fall, every year, it's fresh hop IPA season. So what they do is the brewers, they brew their IPAs and then they pick hops fresh out of the fields, and within hours of them being harvested, they're actually thrown into the wort, into the brew, and we end up with a fresh hop beer. So this is a fresh hop IPA. This is a Green Reaper from Phillips. These things are only available for a short time. In fact, if you do not have this one by now, highly unlikely you're going to get it. I think I saw 2 on the shelf the other day when I was there at my local Cascadia here in Victoria. But have a look. It's definitely worth it. Then there's the Sartori Harvest IPA from Driftwood. That's another great one. Category 12 came out with one this year, and that one looks good, although I have not tried it. So 'tis the season, fresh hop IPAs.
All right, mine is open.
All right, mine's open too. Okay, so pouring.
Ooh, take a whiff of that. That is. Here we go. Oh. Oh. Hey, Peanut Gallery.
Hand it over.
It smells very good. Very piney.
This is actually very, very... Oh, yeah. Well, that smells great. Julian says, yeah, but fresh hops are usually taste grassy, which is why they're always dried. That's very true.
You know what? It's just a bit of a different flavor, man. Just for a little short time of the year, it's good.
Yeah, that pine, that's got some... Okay, what is in this thing? I gotta break out the glasses again. Let's see what it says about it on the can, at least.
Yeah.
Fresh hop IPA, and nothing else.
Well, so there's writing on the side, but I can't read it.
I know it's actually blurry. You can't actually read what it says here.
It's like this kind of label that's kind of like it's painted on the can, and in the painting of it on the can, it's kind of like it's not really clear. The print kind of runs.
It's offset and it just doesn't work. So let's see. Apparently, Phillips Brewing and Malting in Victoria, BC. This particular beer is somewhere, I hope, on their website here, but maybe not. Apparently, they don't sell beer; they just sell T-shirts and stuff. Oh, here we go. Blue Buck. All right, that's a beer I recognize. More T-shirt. What a weird website. Is there like a menu that actually has like something that's not?
You should probably just Google search Green Reaper IPA Phillips.
I'm gonna have to, because their website is terrible. Green Reaper Vampire Survivors beer,
No.
Phillips.
No.
Green
No.
Reaper Fresh Hop IPA. I was really hoping they'd actually have. Wow, that's so strange. They don't really organize their website at all. This is like all over the place.
Huh.
Am I like on the wrong website? Like, is there
Maybe.
a different website?
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
spend
that
a
is
lot
very
of time
strange.
on
All right.
websites for breweries, so
No?
no.
Okay, so what do we got here? Actually, you shouldn't say that. Just say it's all you're on beer websites every day.
Okay.
Okay, so according to this Kaleidoscope, 9 Donkeys of the Apocalypse Double IPA, which I want to try. It comes out in March. The Thorny Horn Bottle Rocket, Apocalypse Meow, and this beer is nowhere to be seen. And I'm looking at the limited edition beers. You'd think that they would actually.
So I mean, this is
seasonal,
really
maybe?
limited edition. I mean, it may not even make their limited edition
Oh,
stuff.
here we go. Green
Oh, here.
Reaper. I found it in the seasonal section. All right. Our classic fresh hop brew is back and ready to collect your taste buds and send them to the aftertaste. Cute. We received 250 pounds of fresh Schnook hops from Bredenhof Hop Farms in the Fraser Valley. And within 24 hours of being picked, we were throwing them into the kettle. Get ready to reap the rewards of a fresh hop season. The alcohol by volume is 6.5%, and it is a darkish in color, and it is also something where it only comes in this size of can, 473 mils. So that overall is a beer that I can enjoy, and it smells great. I gotta say,
It smells
one of
fantastic.
the
We
better.
don't get an IBU rating with it. That's unfortunate. I'm going
International beer
to.
units.
I'm going to guess.
40. International beer units apparently are 40
Oh, 40
on the
Okay.
scale. So hey, that's pretty good. It's because I mean most IPAs from what I recall is something to the effect of like 30ish or so. But between 30 and 40 is pretty good. So I can say nothing bad about this beer except that I don't have enough.
It's a very limited quantity available for purchase, and that's just by nature of the fact that the hops are only harvested around this time of year, I guess.
6.5 is very civilized.
It is. It is a very civilized level of alcohol content. I'm really enjoying this.
It doesn't really have an aftertaste though. Like there's no significant. I'm trying to. Well, maybe a little. Kind of a piney-ish. If I ever say anything, kind of a piney-ish flavor.
It's very piney,
or sort of return at the back.
I would say that it's a little bit more bitter than a regular IPA would be. But that's not a bad thing. I mean that's good. If you like bitter IPAs, you're gonna love a fresh hop IPA. And this is something that
Gallery. What did you think?
This is something.
Did I just get a single noise? All right.
Iffy.
Oh, the Peanut Gallery calls it iffy.
Iffy.
Wow, interesting.
This is something that you can't. You shouldn't hold on to. Once you buy it, you should crack it open and enjoy it within a few weeks. The longer you wait,
True.
The more the benefit of the fresh hops kind of goes.
Yeah, I gotta say it is. You know what? I don't care. I like it. I think it smells great. I think it tastes great. It has a bit of a piney aftertaste, which I'm not minding because hey, I've survived Mr. Needles, so you know.
Speaking of Mr. Needles, so there won't be any Mr. Needles this year because Parallel 49.
Did they make an official like?
They have not made an official. I wouldn't expect they would. What are they going to do? They're going to come out and say, "Hey, everybody, all you fans of our advent calendars, we're not putting one out this year." No.
Yeah,
They
screw you
haven't said anything.
guys.
But if they were putting it out, it would be out by now.
Well, yeah, I mean it's unfortunate, but you did notice a particular beer adventish thing coming out.
So last week, when we did the show, this Phillips space case hadn't been announced yet, and we kind of assumed, or I kind of assumed, that if it hadn't been announced by then, it wasn't going to. Well, wouldn't you know it? 2 days later, it got announced. So it's coming out. They say soon. I saw it at a Liquor Plus location tonight. So
Oh,
it's out in the wild now.
excellent.
Now, usually these things are carried also through BC liquor stores, but if I look on their website, they don't list it. So I'm wondering if it's only going to be done through private liquor stores this year. I don't know.
Possibly. Well, I'm
Anyway,
definitely going to have to go and check.
yes, at Liquor Plus, they had something like 100 boxes of them, and they were, I think, $58 each. And there's 12 beers, just like last year. And I believe all the 12 beers are special brews, but there isn't really a lot of information about it because Phillips hasn't actually officially said anything about it. They just said it's coming soon.
Well, I hope that I can get it pretty quickly because I'm trying to think if there's no other adventish kind of stuff coming out for whatever reason this year, um, then perhaps it'll go fast. Because usually we get three. Well, we get okay. We've had some years where we had two ones that were 24s, and then we had one that was 12, and now we're down to the only one that's 12.
Yeah,
So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I'm sure our livers will
I
thank
get
us.
it.
This
They're
year.
a lot of work. These things,
It's
or at
true.
least they
It's
should
true.
be. They should be a lot of work, right? You're making like 24
Yeah,
special beers for this thing. Yeah,
on
I
top of
get
the
it.
same thing, like on
Yeah,
top of the same. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Now, like I say, Phillips is putting out the space case, and that's great. That's fantastic. I think I'll pick it up. Phillips, and I don't know why I didn't realize this until now, but Phillips, this year was their 20th anniversary. And what they've been doing is they've been putting out re-releasing beers from their past throughout this year. And I didn't realize that was part of their 20th anniversary celebration that they were doing this. So their last one was released very recently, and I managed to pick it up. It is a re-release of their Trainwreck barley wine. So this one is dated 2022. I'm going to hold on to this one for a while. I'm not going to open it. I'm going to let it age and sit for a year or two, and then we'll see in 2023 or 2024 what it's like. It clocks
I'm kind
in.
of curious myself.
It clocks in at 10%.
A respectable 10. All right.
Now I'm assuming from this that at some point, and I don't know why I don't know this, Phillips made this barley wine on a regular basis and released it yearly, and then they stopped at some point, and now they brought it back just for this year. I don't know if they'll be doing it again year after year.
Just looking up if there's going to be any Christmas-ish end of year related events, and there don't seem to be any in Vancouver or in Victoria.
No.
there seems to be nothing. The only thing that seems to be happening is the Hopscotch Vancouver Grand Tasting Hall, which is on the 25th, so next Friday. Um, but that's the P&E, and it's not really a holiday. I'm assuming it's just an event of fun. But other than that, zero things, and I don't know why. You're supposed to have more than one barley wine. Don't hold on to it.
Yeah.
Um, so that's really unfortunate. There's really nothing going
I
on.
need to come clean. I actually bought 2.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Yeah.
Stick it in the fridge. Drink it in December.
Yeah. So, Shane, actually, if you go out, see if you can find this train wreck from Phillips.
Yeah.
And I think it describes more how you feel after you've had what would have been probably a bomber bottle of it at the time.
Right.
You'd feel like a train wreck afterwards. These tall cans are a little bit less volume, so you're not going to feel it as
Yeah,
much.
you're not gonna collapse and fall over and expire.
You're not going to be speaking in tongues.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to go out because it's been a little while, and since I mean, it's kind of strange. This year's been a bit odd in terms of the progression of time, as it were, because you have, I don't know, at the beginning of the year we were still kind of not in lockdown, but we were kind of sort of going outside a little bit, and then as the year progressed, people started going outside again. People started enjoying the summer and spring and whatnot, and then now we're into sort of, we didn't really have autumn, we just kind of had summer, and it suddenly got punched in the face by winter.
I know, right?
And then it just like it's been the last few years, boom, and then we were suddenly headed into yeah, exactly, snow. What, a week and a half
it's like
ago?
we're
That was
wearing
just bizarre.
shirts or shorts and like shirts with like flowers on them, and then boom, next day snow.
I know, it's so weird. Like partway through, the close to the end of September, like you were going outside, it was bloody hot, and you're like, it's still like 28 degrees. What the hell?
The last
And then
week of
suddenly, yeah,
October,
we're off and running.
I was so hot when I was in bed trying to sleep, I had to put on the fan. The last week of October.
Oh, so did we. We have a fan that blows right over the bed. Yeah, it completely, yeah, it just was insane. But I think that sort of contributed to a lot of this sort of weirdness because we have it's like the end of the year just about. It seems it's like the November is passing by really quickly, and but I actually had a point to this whole story that I've totally lost my train of thought. Damn it! There was a point to this, which I'll have to come back to when I remember what it is.
Well, one thing I was going to say,
so much
yes, I mean, we're like mid-November now, which means Christmas is, I don't know, like 6 weeks away, something like that.
That actually, thank you, Julian. That actually did spur my my memory. So I can now tell you what it was. Sorry, keep going, Alan.
Okay. I was going to say is I haven't seen any Christmas themed beers on the shelves yet. Like Santa's Sack from Bridge Brewing. I have not seen this. I saw an ad on, I think it was Instagram today for Krampus, which Strange Fellows puts out, I believe. But I actually haven't seen it in stores. Nothing Christmas related in the beer world at all.
Did you see many autumn stuff, like pumpkin related beer, which Julian would poo-poo on? I didn't actually look for any, but I didn't actually see any. I did go to the beer store a few times, but I didn't actually notice anything.
I looked when Phillips announced Cricketer Tooth. I went looking, never found it.
Really?
Yeah.
What is going on with what is wrong with 2022?
Maybe it's
what is
us.
going on with this year? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it us? We're just go. Is it true that we've become so old and inflexible that we have outlived our usefulness?
Would that
Um,
constitute a joke?
the thing I was going to say actually today is that apparently this week we're now 8 billion strong on this planet. And
The more
so
the
basically
merrier.
we are going to. The more the merrier, exactly. More people at the party. But of course, that means that we're all going to die sooner. So there you go. Congratulations. By the end of the century, the human race will be extinct. So make as much beer as you can right now and drink it immediately because it's not going to keep. Could you imagine like aliens coming down? You're like a la that Spielberg movie AI. Like they come to Earth like I don't know thousands of years later into the future, and then they're like trying to figure out what humans were doing. Julian's gonna live forever because he's gonna be pickled by the time he gets to the end. I won't die. I'll just keep living because I'm pickled.
Well, Julian thinks that, and I agree with him. Pumpkin spice beers are great, just not for drinking. I agree with that. Crooketer Tooth is the exception.
I would agree.
Not
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the pumpkin side. Crookeder Tooth, yes. Crookeder Tooth is a far more interesting version of the Crooked Tooth beer. We've talked about it before on the show for the last couple of years, but I always like to do it. Beer is nutritious, yes, of course. So if we just keep drinking beer and just be done with it,
it's got like a couple of food groups in it, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think
it's
you can
got
totally
grains
live on it without eating anything else.
Hops are like a vegetable, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
that works for me.
Or fruit,
little herbs and spices.
Yeah.
Non-binary beer coming in 2023. You heard it here first. But so yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like 2022 felt somewhat more normal post sort of pandemic, and now it's not. It's gone back. We're sliding back into COVID land, apparently. You know, I mean, I'm wearing a mask when I'm in crowded sky trains and things like that. But I mean,
are you?
No one else is. Oh yeah, I've gone to a couple movies in the past couple weeks, and I've gone on the SkyTrain, and I put a mask on just because it's out of respect for the people on the train, and but yeah, very few people are actually doing it anymore, and it was just today that that Bonnie, whatever her nuts is, in BC here just said that yeah, it's not mandatory, but we kind of recommend it again, not because of COVID, however. Her big announcement was, yeah, we've all been at home, and we haven't really had as many colds as we normally would have, and we haven't had as many flus as we would have. So you might not catch COVID. You might just catch something else you might normally be exposed to, and it just might be a little worse because your body's not used to it.
Okay, I can speak to that. So where I work, there's like a ton of people who are sick with like colds and stuff like that, and it's just knocking them off their feet. Like they say they've never felt that sick ever, and they don't have COVID or anything. They've taken the tests and everything, and it's all come back negative. But they're like they are fucking hurting. So, and then we're the ones who aren't sick are fucking hurting while they're trying to do double the work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I mean that's something I've been paying attention to is making sure that everything I'm doing now out and about, washing hands, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, don't get sick at all.
If you're washing your hands frequently, don't touch your face, and try to stay, like a nominal distance away from others. They say 6 feet. You're not going to catch anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, even though I was on the train the couple times recently, it was not bumper to bumper, as it were. It was actually quite. I tried to kind of stay in a reasonable, it wasn't 6 feet, but it was definitely a few feet anyway. Yeah. But again, you're on a train that's closed, But
the big thing is,
I mean, I'm not concerned.
The big thing is probably not touching your face.
Yeah.
right? Because that's what
Well,
you do.
especially since
You touch surfaces and pick up stuff, and then
Yeah.
you touch, your face. If you don't touch your face, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I carry around a little thing of death on in a bottle for germs and stuff. Death in a bottle. That's a new product from the Crafty Boys. Death in a bottle. You can drink it or use it to wash your hands.
So there was a company, and just as you saying that, I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was like a Facebook ad. Some company was selling water in cans, and it was called like Death from Above or something like that.
I know there's a water company called Liquid Death. I'm not
Yes,
sure
that was it. That was
Liquid
it.
Death, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen them actually sponsor podcasts here and there.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what's special about it. No one's ever described it. It just seems to be there,
It's just water, I think.
They're just drinking it.
In a can.
Yes, let's talk about brewing. Julian.
Okay.
Julian wants to talk about brewing. What brewing things have we got coming down the pipe? Alan, have you been doing any brewing?
I have not done any brewing in several years. It's
You
something
haven't.
I would.
All right. Okay. Well, enough of that. The show's all about me. So you haven't. That's true. I mean, you haven't brewed for a while. Like you've not been doing too much.
You know what? Actually, it's probably been about 8 years. It's something that it's not something I meant to stop doing. We moved, and I packed up all my brewing stuff into boxes and stuff, and I don't know where the hell they are. So I got to go find that stuff, and maybe my wife got rid of it all. I don't know.
Well, if she did, then you'll just have to get a new wife.
I guess. Well, yeah. So
I'm sorry, honey. We're done. You touched
stuff.
the beer equipment. We're out.
Yeah. I gotta go track down this stuff and see what I can do. There was one beer recipe that I wanted to do. It was when Barack Obama was in office. Apparently, he brewed. Well, he probably didn't do it. He probably had Secret Service guys doing it, but brewing his own beer while he was in the White House. And the White House apparently has its own beekeeping thing, and they harvest honey from it. So he actually, and you can get this recipe online. It's Barack Obama's honey ale or whatever it was. And the recipe is there, so you can brew it yourself. And I wanted to try it. But you know what? Do you know how much honey is now? It's expensive. Like, I'm not going to make a honey beer anytime soon.
Okay, sure. All right, if it's on the table. So essentially, I just looked it up, and they do have their own beehives. They actually have been they've been around for a while, apparently.
Yes.
So like the last 10 years or something. So pollinating the gardens around the White House and that kind of thing. Yes. But essentially collecting honey for all kinds of things, including beer. Kind of makes me want to have my own honey. Set up some hives. I wouldn't know what to do with them. I wouldn't be like, I have beehives. How do I collect the honey? I don't know. Ow! But that would actually suck.
You know what I would love to do? I would love to find a copycat recipe for making a Herminator. Like an ice bock. I have absolutely no idea how to brew an ice bock. Maybe Julian can enlighten us.
I'm just looking up to see if they have a recipe for it out there.
And let's be clear, the brewing that I used to do was nothing more than Cooper's kits.
True.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Which I use as well.
Yeah, I just used Cooper, but I didn't even add anything to them. Like I didn't do any dry hopping or anything like that. I just made the Cooper's kit as it came, done. And you know what? It actually wasn't that bad. I think based on what I know now, I would say it sucked. But and from what I understand is if you use those kits as a base and then you dry hop on top of them, you can actually make a pretty decent beer.
So apparently, so I just found a recipe for somebody who's created one that is a not a copy, but is that style of beer that the Herminator is. And so basically, you boil everything like you normally would, add the hops at certain intervals. Then you let it ferment, and then you freeze it.
That's where
You
the ice
freeze the
part comes
beer.
in.
So yeah, that actually is very, very interesting. Takes about 2 to 3 days to freeze about a 5 gallon bucket. The longer you freeze it, the more concentrated it will be. Then you drain the higher concentrated beer into a receiving vessel. Yada yada yada. So that would be kind of difficult to do. But I would definitely say that it is something that would be worth trying at some point. The only problem is, in order to freeze it, you'd have to have a large freezer to actually do it in. Freeze distilling, it removes some water, concentrates flavor, raises alcohol. Yeah, of course. But I remember when
you need a
they had
commercial
the
grade
ice beers
freezer.
for a while.
Sorry?
Well, yeah, I mean, around here you couldn't just throw it outside, like in some places. But
Maybe if you had like a hunk of property in Saskatchewan, maybe you could.
in Saskatchewan, you could totally do it there. You could do well if you went at a higher elevation around here. You could probably pull it off. Go to Mount Washington, freeze your beer. But it would be kind of cool to give that a try. But it is I mean, it's like trying to brew lager. You need to brew it at a low temperature, and then it's just it does. It's hard to do that, and you can only really do it in the wintertime if you're just doing it on your own kind of thing, unless you have again a dedicated fridge slash freezer, which I used to have. We used to have one. Um, it's easy. Only an idiot would freeze 5 gallons. That's what it says in the recipe to freeze your 5 gallons worth. But I suspect probably if they had additional text about how that process would work, my suspicion is that it would be freezing.
Well, I think usually most home brewers will brew 5 gallons at a time, right?
Freeze it in plastic milk jugs. Yeah, of course. You want to do it in something much, much smaller. But yeah, I mean, why not? It's something that would be kind of fun to do. And I kind of wish I still had my freezer, but it takes a lot of room. So, do you have like a big chest freezer?
I don't have a big one. I got sort of like a small one.
Just throw some of the meat out in the street and then just throw a bucket in there and see what happens.
I don't even know what's at the bottom of it. Like, I'd be afraid to look. It's probably like an old salmon from like 1973 or something. No.
Well, my parents used to have this huge freezer.
Everybody's parents had a huge freezer.
It was like, like a big 6 foot,
Yeah.
About probably 2.5 feet deep. And
that's right.
Whatever. And it finally died, like, because it was old. And it died and everything went bad, including my parents had a piece of their wedding cake in there and they lost that too. So, but yeah, just I kind of wish I had one like that or had a place to put one.
Yeah.
But because you only have so many dead bodies in a freezer. You gotta have the bodies in there, move them over, put your buckets in. I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I don't even know if you can still get those big chest freezers anymore.
I've not looked. Usually you'll see them
in the 70s and 80s. Every family had one of those in their basement. Seriously.
Yeah. I kind of.
And you only dealt with like the top like foot of it, and then the rest of it was all stuff that had been there for like years.
So let's see. What is the biggest freezer you can... Oh, actually, here you go. You can still get... it is a... What is a 14.8 cubic feet. So you can still get some fairly decent sized... oh, here's one that's 16 feet. Or 16 cubic feet. 20 cubic feet. There you go. They're like $1,500. You know, that's not a bad idea.
Sorry, no.
You don't need to freeze it. Just do a couple gallons and stick it in the back. Yeah, that's true. And dead birds. Yes, I actually... that is actually a jab at my not having buried my dead bird that died about a month ago. So I have to bury that poor guy. He's in the freezer. But it's just been wet. I didn't feel like it. So there you go. Screw you, bird. You're dead anyway. So I still think that we should, as a podcast, we should brew our own beer. And,
I agree.
And then turn around, sell it for billions of dollars because the recipe will just be perfect.
For our first one, probably not an ice bock. We should probably do something that's a little bit more simple, like an IPA.
Okay, we could do that.
Load it up with
hops.
the
what would we call it? What's our first IPA going to be called?
Well, I think I've said this on an earlier episode, but Dave hates this.
Oh yes, perfect, done. I'm gonna make it. I'll make it this in the next couple of weeks. I will brew, and then it will be ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
Dave will hate this.
Yeah.
Yes, Dave is not here again this week. It has been wet. That's what you think, buddy. So the I lost my train of thought because I'm just thinking about Julian being all soaped up and ready to go.
Oh my god!
On
Don't
that
get me started.
Note, we're gonna start getting naked here because Julian's. Perfect. Anyway, we'll leave it at that because I was busy and stuff like that. So, I know an ice box would be more interesting, but we're not here for your interest. We're here for us, man. Jeez, God, he's so demanding. But of course, we'll be back next week with another beer, which I think we already have. Is that right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Excellent. So until then, crack one open, drink it down, and enjoy it because the world is at 8 billion. We're on the downslide now.
Yep.
Thank you, Alan.
All right.
And as ever, everyone, good night, good night, good night. We are out! Yes, we are. We're leaving. Come back.